The boy's skin had gone pale. Far too pale for a child so full of laughter just a week ago. His eyes fluttered like weak candle flames, and a faint tremor ran through his small hands. Amara, the new maid, froze mid-step, her heart thudding against her ribs. No one else seemed to notice. The house was alive with chatter, the clinking of silver cutlery and the distant hum of luxury. But to Amara, everything fell silent except for the shallow, struggling breaths of the billionaire's son. She felt it. Something was terribly, terribly wrong. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you were watching from. I love knowing who is listening. Amara had only been in the Winston mansion for a month. She was quiet, humble, and almost invisible among the polished marble floors and chandelier reflections. The staff whispered about her, the new maid from the south, the one with the strange eyes that notice everything. But today, those eyes might have been the only thing standing between life and death. She was cleaning near the grand staircase when she saw young Oliver stumble, clutching his chest. His lips looked bluish, faint, but enough to send a chill up her spine. "Are you okay, Master Oliver?" she asked softly. The boy nodded weakly, insisting he was fine. But as he walked away, she saw the faint sheen of sweat on his temple despite the cool air. Something wasn't right. Amara couldn't shake the feeling. That night, she couldn't sleep. The wind rustled through the curtains of the small servant quarters, and every creak of the house seemed to echo her worry. "He's sick," she thought. But why doesn't anyone see it? The next morning, Oliver's mother, Mrs. Winston, hosted another charity brunch. The mansion smelled of roses and freshly baked pastries, but underneath the perfume of wealth was something bitter, the kind of denial only the rich could afford. Oliver sat at the long oak table, quiet and pale. When Amara came to refill his water, she saw his fingers tremble again. "Oliver," she whispered, crouching beside him, "do you feel dizzy?" He blinked at her, confused. "Sometimes," he admitted softly. "But Mom says it's just tiredness." Tiredness. Amara's mind flashed back to her village, her younger brother, who'd once had the same symptoms before collapsing one night. His heartbeat had slowed to a frightening rhythm, and by the time help came, it was too late. She couldn't let that happen again. Not here. Not to this child. But when she tried to warn Mrs. Winston, the woman's reaction was sharp and cold. "Amara," she said, her diamond earrings glinting like frost, "you're here to clean, not diagnose. Don't overstep." The words stung, but Amara's resolve hardened. She might be a maid, but she wasn't blind. Days passed. Oliver's energy faded more each morning. Once, Amara caught him nearly fainting while reaching for his toys. She rushed to catch him, her hands trembling. "You need help," she whispered urgently. "Real help." That night, while the house slept, Amara stayed awake in the hallway outside Oliver's room. The ticking of the grandfather clock felt louder than thunder. Suddenly, she heard a soft thump, then silence. She burst into the room. Oliver lay crumpled on the floor, gasping weakly, his small chest rising in ragged rhythm. Panic surged through her veins. She shouted for help, but no one came. Without thinking, she lifted him, feeling how limp he was. "Stay with me," she pleaded, running down the hall. The guards looked shocked as she burst through the grand doors, barefoot, cradling the boy in her arms. "Call a doctor! Now!" she screamed, her voice breaking through the still night. The family came running, but by then Amara had already laid Oliver on the cold marble floor, pressing her ear to his chest. The faintest heartbeat, fading. Desperation took over, the same desperation that had haunted her since her brother's death. She began chest compressions, counting under her breath, refusing to stop. One of the guards rushed forward. "She's hurting him." "No," cried Mrs. Winston, her voice trembling. "She's trying to save him." Minutes felt like hours until the paramedics arrived. They rushed Oliver into the ambulance, and Amara collapsed to her knees, her hands trembling. her face streaked with tears. Hours later, the doctor approached the waiting family. "If you'd been even 5 minutes later," he said quietly, "we would have lost him. It was a severe allergic reaction, rare and hidden. Whoever acted first saved his life." The room fell silent. All eyes turned to Amara. Mrs. Winston's lips trembled as she walked toward the maid. For the first time, her polished perfection cracked. She took Amara's hands, the same hands that scrubbed floors and polished silver, and whispered, "I owe you my son's life. I'm so sorry I didn't listen." Amara shook her head, eyes glistening. "I only did what anyone should do," she said softly. "I saw what others couldn't." A week later, Oliver returned home, smiling again, a faint scar on his wrist where the IV had been. He ran to Amara the moment he saw her, wrapping his small arms around her waist. "You saved me," he said. She smiled, brushing his hair back gently. "No, little one. You saved me from losing another person I care about." The mansion never treated her the same way again. She was no longer the maid. She was family. And every morning, as sunlight poured through the tall glass windows, Amara felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits and it finds its way back. Sometimes, the people we overlook are the ones who see the truth we refuse to face. So next time, don't ignore the quiet voice that warns you. It might just save your life. If this story touched your heart, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs a reminder. Compassion changes everything.